Oh, hello there. It's Tuesday. I'm still at the office, as you can see. It's a great office. We are on our final week of the topic of running with pelvic floor dysfunction and how maybe you can keep your clients with pelvic floor dysfunction running. And today, my tip is to address their postural sort of misalignments. So there's two main um, sort of postural syndromes that affect women. One is kyphosis, so that's where the upper back rounds down and the head goes forward. And the other is lordosis, so that's the one where the hips roll forward and there's like that Teletubby posture. Now they affect the pelvic floor in women in two quite different ways. So kyphosis, or it's otherwise known as an upper cross syndrome, and it's a syndrome because there's a variety of things that have to happen or have to come together to make that happen. Um, that Kyphosis puts downward pressure and outward pressure on the pelvic floor and abdominal wall. And that means the pelvic floor has to be stronger and withstand more intra-abdominal pressure than it would if someone had a light posture, so a long posture. And then lordosis, or lower cross syndrome, again, a syndrome because there's a variety of tight, weak, long, short, unstable muscles, ligaments. There's a variety of events and issues that lead up to a lordosis. It ultimately puts the pelvic floor in a position where it can't function optimally. So not necessarily bad, but not at its peak position to function. So if someone has pelvic dysfunctions, it's possible that if you align her pelvis in such a manner that it's in a position it can lift and react well, that she may not have the same problems as before. Now, there's a physio in Queensland I did some education with that was her first point of call for treating older ladies, sort of women 80 and older that had stress urinary incontinence. She basically lifted their posture off their pelvic floor, mobilized their thoracic, and that strategy alone had huge life-changing, profound effects on these older ladies. And if you're looking at your female clients that want to run, if they've got this down stiff kind of running computer posture, if they're not spreading and twisting from the ribs, quite possible that that's contributing to their lack of function or misfunction or dysfunction in their pelvis. So addressing these syndromes, even not just addressing the pelvic floor on its own, but having a look at the whole core may mean that your client with pelvic dysfunction can continue to run. Obviously, working with a pelvic physio is the gold standard. Like, you don't get to decide if it's working or if it's not working. She needs a proper assessment. But imagine if it did. That's pretty bloody awesome. So I'll see you next month with a new topic. And until then, I'm going to enjoy my office.